Well, dear students, good morning to you all. Today our topic is consignment. It is also one of the important topic for intermediate level, for degree level and for foundation courses also. Now, consignment. When a person sends goods to another person for sale of them on behalf of the farmer is called consignment. When a person sends goods to another person for sale of them on behalf of the farmer is called consignment. Suppose we are at Hyderabad, A at Hyderabad, B at Bangalore. A sent goods to B. Understand? For sale of them on behalf of A. It is called consignment. When a person is sending goods, that fellow is called consignor. To whom the goods are sent is called consignment. Now A is the consignor, B is the consignee. The relationship between the consignor and consignee is then that of the relationship between the principal and agent. A is the principal, B is the agent, B has to sell on behalf of A. He will be allowed commission only. He may not be getting a share in profits. The entire profits go to consignor. Understanding or not? Once again, A is sending goods to B. A is consignor, B is consignee. Consignee has to sell the goods on behalf of consignor. He will be entitled to get a commission only, not getting share in profits. Understand? The entire profits go to whom? Consignor. Okay. Now, in the case of ordinary sale, the goods are sold. Whether it is a cash sale or credit sale, the goods are going out. In the case of consignment also, the goods are going out. That is the common feature in the consignment and also in a sale. There is an outflow of goods. But the consignment is entirely different from sale. Though it seems to be sale but not a sale. Though it is seem to be sale but not a sale. Now, I am giving certain differences between the consignment and sale. Well, dear students, following or not? A is consignor, B is consignee, A is at Hyderabad, B is at Bangalore. We are sending goods to him, he will sell again. The entire profits to go to ourselves. But consignee gets only commission. In the case of sale, goods are going. In the case of consignment also, goods are going. But both are not same. Number one. Here two parties are there. Two parties, not tea party. Hello. Two parties are there. Consignor and consignee. Here, seller and buyer. Here, consignor and consignee there, seller and buyer. Here, relation is principal and agent. Here, in the case of cash sale, there is no relation between the seller and buyer. But if it is a credit sale, the relation is creditor and debtor. What I told? If it is a cash sale, just I sold goods, I received cash, no relation. But if it is a credit sale, the relation is creditor and debtor relation. Now, here ownership not transferred. Here transferred immediately. Well, dear students, When I am giving goods to consignee for sale of them, until they are sold, I am the owner. I am the owner. So ownership not at all transferred until they are sold. But in the case of ordinary sale, once I sold, immediately the ownership is also transferred. Clear? All expenses in consignment, whether the expenses related to consignor, whether the expenses related to consignee. What are the expenses of consignor? So as to send the goods, we have to pay transportation, we have to pay carriage, freight, insurance, packing, etc. All the expenses are paid by consignor only. And the expenses of consignee, he has to unload the goods, he has to carry them to his godown, then he has to give advertisement and publicity, and then only he can sell. Selling expenses are there. All the expenses of consignee are also whereby are borne by that consignor. Temporarily consignee may pay, but we will repay. Understand it? All the expenses are paid by consignor. Here all the expenses are paid by buyer. Understanding? Next. Risk. The entire risk on consignment is with consignor. Suppose when I am sending goods to consignee, the goods are in accident, the entire loss goes to consignor only. Are the goods in the godown of consignee, there is a fire accident, that loss also goes to consignor only. The entire risk to consignor only in the consignment. But in the case of ordinary sale, once I sold, the risk transferred immediately to the buyer. To the buyer. Suppose I sold this goods to a particular person. That fellow told, sir, I will take away the goods tomorrow, not today. Okay, no problem, keep them. You can take tomorrow. But within that one day, there is an accident, the goods are spoiled or destroyed. That loss goes to buyer only, not to me. Once I sold, my obligations, my risk, everything is closed. That risk is immediately transferred to buyer. So, here risk with consignor, here risk to buyer. Next. When the goods are sold by consignee, the profit goes to consignor. Here, that means the profit after sale goes to consignor. Here, profit after sale goes to buyer only. We sold goods. Their prices are increased within hours. That profit goes to buyer only. Or he may get some other profits, whatever it may be. All profits are going to buyer after the sale. I am telling after the sale. Profit on sale goes to seller only, I know, or you know. But after sale, is there any appreciation of goods? Is there any gain in the stock? That all goes to buyer only. Last and final, returns. I sent goods to consignee who is be at Bangalore. After 1 or 2 months, sir, I am unable to sell your goods. Nobody is buying here. He may return. We must take away because we are the owner. In the consignment, if the consignee returns goods to us, we must take. But in the case of ordinary sale, once we sold goods, no question of taking back. Not refundable, but exchange may be allowed. Exchange may be allowed. But goods no need to take back. Well, dear students, once again, last and final. When a person sending goods to another person for sale of them on behalf of the farmer is called consignment. The person who is sending is a consignor, to whom the goods are sent is a consignee. But consignment is entirely different from sale. Why? Because in the case of sale, goods are going, but in the consignment also goods are going, but both are not same. Not same. Here consignment, here sale. So many differences are there. You can take down. Then I will go through how to prepare ledger accounts. Understanding or not? Well, dear students, now we are in consignor ledger book. The first one is Bangalore consignment account. Consignee in which place is there, that name should be added to the consignment account. Our consignee is at Bangalore, so it is called Bangalore consignment account. Bangalore consignment account. Consignment account is a nominal account. Well, dear students, here date, particulars and amount, 3 columns are there. Consignment account is a nominal account. Whenever we send goods, our expenses and consignee expenses, consignee commission, these 4 items are debited to consignment account. It is a nominal account. Whenever we send goods, consignor expenses, we are in the books of consignor and we have to feel that we are the consignor. We have to feel that we are the consignor. Then only we can learn easily. Understanding? We are sending goods, that must be debited. Our expenses, consignee commission, 4 items are debited, and whenever goods are sold or unsold, both are treated in consignment. Sold or unsold, both are treated in consignment. First one, we send goods, consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. Suppose 40,000. We paid expenses, consignment account debit to cash. To send the goods for carriage, freight and etc., we paid cash, consignor expenses. Next, consignee expenses. Our consignee name is B account. Consignee expenses. Next, consignee commission. Before the commission, I am taking sales by B. On this sales, 44,000, we are giving commission, consignment account debit to B account. Suppose 5% given, 2,200. By closing stock, stock on consignment. Well, dear students, once again, consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. We send goods. Next, consignment account debit to cash, which is our expenses. Consignment account debit to consignee. Consignee name B. So, B expenses. And next, consignee commission. 4 items are debited. Sales and unsale both are created. Now, how to value closing stock I am explaining. Please look at the board sincerely. How to value the closing stock? Valuation of closing stock. Well, dear students, suppose consignee is sold for 44,000, it is the 3/4 part of the stock. He sold 3/4 part. 3/4 stock he sold. That means how much unsold? 1/4. How much unsold? 1/4. Take cost of unsold stock. Cost of unsold stock. That is equal to our stock is originally 40,000. Out of that, 1/4 is unsold. So 40,000 into 1/4. That is equal to 10,000. Add proportionate consignor expenses. How much consignor expenses? Our expenses 1,000 into 1/4. And then consignee's non-recurring expenses. Non-recurring expenses. If it is given, we can add. If not, no need to add. This is called closing stock. Well, dear students, once again, closing stock valuation. How much unsold part is there? We have to take the cost of unsold part. Suppose 1/4 unsold, 40,000 into 1/4. 1/5 unsold, 40,000 into 150. Suppose 80% sold means 20% is unsold. So take 40,000 into 20%. We have to take the cost of unsold part. And yeah, proportionate consignor expenses. Proportionate means here you have taken 1/4. It must be taken also 1/4. Proportionate means in the same proportion. How much you taken cost? 1/4. So expenses also must be taken 1/4. Now what about consignee expenses I am explaining? You have to take the consignee expenses which are non-recurring nature. Non-recurring, that means not paid again and again. Carriage, freight, unloading charges, they are all paid once only. They are called non-recurring expenses. You have to unload the stock, you paid once only. Carriage and freight, up-try customs duties, they are all called non-recurring expenses. They cannot be repeated again and again. But take an example, you have to pay rent to building, rent to go down, salaries to staff, advertisement. They are all called recurring expenses. What you have to take here? Non-recurring expenses. Non-recurring expenses are also called as direct expenses. Directly paid to that particular stock. Suppose the stock came, we have to carry the stock to inside the godown. So as to bring, we have to pay certain expenses for a coolie. What it is called? Coolie charges, carrying charges. You have to pay. That is called directly paid to that particular stock. The stock already came here. We are paying regularly rent to this building, not to this particular stock. So many stocks are here. That is called indirect expenses. Understanding or not? Only we have to take non-recurring expenses, or you can say direct expenses, or you can say one more. All the expenses incurred by consignee until the goods brought to his godown, they have to be taken into consideration. After came to godown, whatever you paid like advertisement, selling expenses, they should not be included in the closing stock. Clear? I told 3 types. Number 1, non-recurring. Non-recurring means you can't pay again and again, only once paid. I told one more. What it is called? Directly paid to that particular item. So it is a direct expenses. And I told one more also. What it is? Expenses paid until the goods carried to our godown. Before that, what you paid? Unloading charges, carriage, freight. Then after, what you are paying? Rent, godown insurance, selling and advertisement. They are all recurring, they should not be included. Clear? Non-recurring you can take, direct you can take. If not given clearly, you can give a dash what it is. Stock, cost of stock and consignor expenses both are included in the closing stock. That closing stock now we are taking here 10,250. Now 54,250 is the total. This is called profit. Net profit transferred to P&L account. Well, dear students, this is the consignment account. There are 4 items on debit side, 2 items on credit side. Don't think that it is the pro forma. It is a format. We have to follow, not like that. Each and every item, whatever we are entering here, that is according to journal entry only. First we send goods to consignment. Consignment account debtor to goods and on consignment. Understanding? We paid expenses. Consignment account or to cash. Consignee paid expenses. Consignment account or to consignee. We allowed commission. Consignment account or to consignee. When goods are sold, consignee account or to consignment. I told you whenever goods are sold or unsold, both are credited to consignment account. Both are credited to consignment account. So, whenever goods are sold, be accounted or to consignment. Consignment is credited. That's why we written on credit side. Last and final, unsold stock, closing stock, stock on consignment. Stock on consignment account or it is an asset. Should be taken into our books. Stock on consignment account or to consignment. Again, consignment is credited. Credit side by stock on consignment. Clear or not? Everything we are recording posting according to the journal entry. Understanding? Next, number 2. We are preparing consignee account. Our consignee is B. Here, B is there, B is there, B is there. Wherever B, that entries should be taken into account here. What is this entry I told? Consignment account top to B. B is created. Credit side by Bangalore consignment account. Again, consignment account top to B account. B again created. Credit side by Bangalore consignment account. Here B, what is the entry for sale? B account or to consignment. B account or to consignment. So here you have to write down debit side. To Bangalore consignment account. Whenever we receive an advance from consignee, that advance may not appear in the consignment account, but it comes to consignee account. We received advance. Suppose we received cash account at R. Suppose we received check, bank account at R. Suppose we received a bill of exchange, bills receivable account at R. To consignment account. Consignee account. Understanding? Once again, we received advance either in cash or check or bill of exchange. Whatever coming, debit what comes, bills receivable account at R, bank account at R, to consignee. So consignee is created. Credit side by bank or by bill of exchange. Suppose we received 10,000. This advance may not appear in the consignment account. Please remember, because we received cash to B account, not related to consignment account. Now if you balance, you are in a position to understand how much the balance still we have to receive from consignee. Understanding? How much the balance we have to receive from consignee. 44,000 is the debit. Take it on credit. Find out the balance. That is called by balance carried down. Well, dear students, so far we completed 2 accounts. One is consignment account and another is consignee account. Last one, goods sent on consignment account. Goods sent on consignment account. What is the first entry I told? Bangalore consignment account or to goods sent on consignment account. Goods sent on consignment account. Goods sent on consignment account is created. So we are writing credit side by Bangalore consignment. At the end of the year, it is transferred to trading account. This is the final entry. Goods sent on consignment account or to trading account. Well, dear students, goods sent on consignment account we want to close at the end of the financial year. Goods and on consignment account is showing a credit balance. So as to cancel, it must be debited. And to where we are transferring to trading account. Why we have to transfer to trading account only? At the end of the year, we are preparing final accounts, trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Purchases, year beginning stock, all the stocks we are transferring to trading account. And whenever sold, unsold, theft, abnormal loss, all are credited to trading account. Even the goods sent to consignment is also to be transferred to trading account at the end of the year. Clear? GSC account is closed by transferring to trading account. So GSC account debtor to trading account. That's over. Consignor books are over. Please take down. We'll go through further part. రెచ్చిపోతున్నాం కదయ్యా.